Hi everyone, Tyler Manion here, NPC and IFBB Pro League Vice President. This will be your Mr. Olympia recap for the 212 division. So I think we had a great top four here in the 212 this year. Obviously, in first, we had Keon. Keon seems like he is about to make the move to the Open, maybe full time. So I think Keon has really done a great job of improving year over year with his physique. I think he has brought up, especially his chest and his back, considerably over the last couple of years. Really for Keon, especially if he's going to make the move into Open, he needs to focus on a couple of things. I think he continued to make his back and his chest stronger points. I think they've come up considerably, but the work that he's done there, I would just continue doing whatever he's been doing. That back, the width is insane. His back lat spread looks awesome. Same with the back double, but some more thickness and maturity back there is only going to make that really, really strong for him. I think the two main things now that he has to focus on, though, are number one, adding a little bit more width to his legs, specifically from the front the most, also a little bit more from the back as well. Standing next to some of these guys that have a little bit more muscle in the Open, I think he's going to need a little bit more of that leg width and volume from the front and the back. I think from the front the most, the back a little bit more. Obviously his legs from the side are already very, very good. When you add that width from the front and the back, that also adds to the density and just how the side leg looks as well. So that will continue to improve. So I think that is his main focus, right, for body parts. And then the second one would be some more development and detail to his abdominals. I felt like his abs were a little bit flatter this year. The lines were a little bit flatter. The abs weren't as deep. And yes, he has an ab split, but still the abs can look deep and you can have very good conditioning throughout the abs and also, the obliques, the serratus, the core. So he can do that. And also he had a little bit of trouble this year controlling his midsection the entire time. So that will go along with making that, the detail and everything in his abs look better. So he needs to really, really focus on that too. And then conditioning wise, I thought his conditioning was solid, but obviously standing next to Sean's conditioning was very, very gnarly. So it made Keon actually look a touch bit soft compared to him. So I feel like conditioning was solid, but he can still take it to that next level. And then again, you see, obviously Sean is a much older competitor. He has much more mature muscle, but that also brings out maturity in the muscle when you're really, really conditioned like that. So he can still improve on that conditioning just a little bit more as well. But if he is moving to the Open full time, I think he's going to make it very, very exciting because his overall balance and flow and structure and symmetry is so top notch. And he has shown that he has improved the physique every single year. So it's going to be very interesting to see him stand next to some of these Open guys, considering some of the top guys are basically his height. So we'll see what happens, but very, very exciting things for Keon in the future here. In second, we had Sean, like I mentioned. What a bounce back showing from Sean, in my opinion. Overall size, I felt like improved. Obviously his taper, his back, his lats, very, very improved over his last couple of showings. I actually thought his legs from the front and the back were a little bit up in size as well. I still think from the side, he can obviously use more hamstrings from the side, especially that hamstring drop. Obviously a little bit more overall muscle and thickness and just muscle in general development to that chest area. But overall, again, Sean brings a very, very impressive package. His conditioning was the best, I thought, in the show for 212. And that made him really, really stand out. And I felt like even though he is losing, from some size and natural taper and shape to Keon, he was able to push him a good bit because his conditioning really brought your eyes to him and was very, very impressive. So a great showing from him. He can still improve on those couple little things, but what a bounce back performance from him. In third, we had Lucas from Brazil. Lucas has a very round, full, and bubbly physique. I think it's very impressive. His conditioning was very solid. Again, it was not to Sean's level, but I think it was very comparable, if not as good as the rest of the class. For him, he needs to improve on adding more width to his back. This is for the front and the back poses. I still think he can add a little bit more depth and thickness to the back, especially for the back double and the back lat spread. And then his legs from the back, the hamstrings and the leg width from the back, I feel like can also come up. He has very solid legs though, all the way around, front, side, and back. Posing was very solid. And overall, I think if he's able to really focus on that width and just overall back improvement, plus add a little bit more to those legs, especially from the back, this guy is very, very dangerous and will be very tough to beat because he's come in conditioned and brought a package like this to all the shows that he's competed at this year. In fourth place, we had Nihat. For such a young competitor, I feel like he has a really, really good physique. Obviously, he has a very nice structure, very wide shoulders, nice small waist. You can see good overall balance balance in his physique. I actually thought that his overall leg size can actually stand to come up a little bit. I feel like for him, the conditioning again was solid, but I feel like he was definitely on the flatter side. It seemed like he's been more conditioned and more full before. So he was on the flatter side. I felt like that made his legs look a little bit smaller than they really are, but still adding some more size to the legs from all angles will only help him. For him, I also think he can really improve his back, especially in the back poses. You see he has great taper and width from the front. You see it in the front double, you see it in the front lat spread, but in the back double and back lat spread, you see that there's more to be desired there. Can definitely be wider from the back and can also add more thickness and maturity. But for a 22-year-old kid, I feel like he's built such an amazing physique. I'm not sure where his weight is, but I feel like he's a guy that will eventually fill out this 212 class and will become an open bodybuilder because of the structure that he has and just his muscle bellies and what it looks like, the potential his physique has. So an insanely bright future for him. 4th place in the world, and I felt like they didn't even hit it 100%. So who knows what he can look like if he's 100% on. In 5th, we had Courage. For Courage, I feel like the main things he can work on is improving his overall back. So more thickness and more width to the back. For him, he needs a little bit more development to his hamstrings and can add a little bit more width to his legs as well. Conditioning wise, I thought his conditioning was solid, but again, I feel like it could just be still a touch better, especially at prejudging. Overall, I feel like these top 5 guys really represented the 212 division well this past weekend. This will be your Mr. Olympia recap for the men's physique division. So men's physique, I think the top 3 guys really brought it to the stage this year. In first, we had Ryan. I felt like this was a very strong package from Ryan. His conditioning was spot on. From the front, obviously his front pose is very good. Great balance between the arms and the shoulders. Good balance again with everything. Chest flows well. Midsection, very good. Abs, very good detail. The width he displays, also very good. And obviously Ryan has good leg development as well. Turn to the back. Ryan's back displays really good V-taper. He has good thickness throughout the traps on the inside of his back. I would say for Ryan, if we're going to try to say 2 things that he can improve on, would be having a little bit more of that thickness and depth to his lats themselves. That's going to add a little bit more thickness and depth and detail to them. And then from the front, just adding a little bit more thickness to his upper chest, even though it does flow well with his physique. In second, we had Ali. For me, Ali needs a good bit more thickness to the chest from the front. Again, his arms and shoulders flow well into his body. He has really great taper as well at the angle he stands at. His core might be the best in men's physique. He's standing next to 2 guys that are up there for that title in Ryan and Brandon, but Ali's core is very good. The abs and the obliques and serratus are very conditioned, very detailed. But to complete this front pose, he definitely needs to add a good bit more thickness to his chest. Then when you look at him from the back, I think Ali definitely brought up the thickness and depth to his back, but you can see he just doesn't quite have that same width as not only Ryan, but even when you see in the top 4 call out, Aaron was standing next to him as well. So it's just continuing to improve that back, still adding some more width, trying to get that taper, and still trying to add a little bit more of that depth as well. In third, we had Brandon. Brandon's front pose, extremely on at this show. It was very good. You see he displays, again, very good taper from the front, good balance between the arms and the shoulders, good fullness throughout the chest. Again, one of the better midsections and detail to the midsections throughout the division. Again, Brandon has very solid legs as well. Now for Brandon, his main issue is when you turn him to the back. I think, especially comparing to earlier this year, whether it was in Pittsburgh or even at New York or Miami, the shows he had won, I think he brought out a lot more of that detail to the back. You can see depth and detail to it, but the width is definitely the problem with Brandon through the back. You definitely don't see that same width as he displays from the front. When you put him next to Ryan and you put him next to even Ali, he's next to Aaron, he does not have nearly the same width as them in this pose, and that's what hurts him in this pose a lot. So it's just that overall back development for Brandon. If he can get the back to match the front, that's what puts him as an extreme danger to everybody in the division. And it seemed like he did improve that as the year went on. So hopefully he can keep improving that back. But that's the difference of him between the top 2 guys, that front to back balance. And that's why he ended up in 3rd place. In 4th place, we had Aaron. Again, Aaron's structure is very good. He has a very good back pose as well. He's continued to bring up his legs throughout the years. To me, for Aaron from the front, you can see he just doesn't have that same conditioning throughout his body, not just the front, but front and back as those 3 guys that were ahead of him. He hasn't been able to find that crisp conditioning in quite some time, and that's what's holding him back compared to these top 3. I also think he needs a little bit more separation, a little bit more detail to his midsection. That's going to enhance his look, and I think really make the front pose much stronger. In 5th place, we had Edvon. Edvon brought an awesome look to the stage. His conditioning was great. He's continued to improve his back. I still think he can improve his overall back, meaning width and thickness and detail. From the front, I still think he needs to streamline down the arms and shoulders just a touch. That will make that front pose look more balanced and more sleek and fit in with the division. Finally, in sixth place, we had Juan. I think he brought a very, very impressive package to this show. His front pose is very, very strong, as you can see. Great detail throughout the midsection. He displays great taper. The main thing for him is from the back, he really needs to work on improving his overall back, which definitely I think came up from the year before. He just needs to work on still adding more thickness, more detail, and more depth to that back, because you can see everything is where it needs to be, but his conditioning throughout the back is not the same as what his condition looked like when he was hitting his front pose. Overall, I think though he is someone that can be a very big danger to every one of these guys that placed ahead of him.